Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick, and I am at, actually I'm not even sure where I am. This is one of the forest preserves in Schaumburg, right off Schaumburg Road. I think it's called Spring Valley. I was here a long time ago, but I thought I was at the office, and today I had two patients, two guys who were avid hikers, and they wanted to figure out how to get healthy. And you know, the typical old guy thing, cholesterol, diabetes or prediabetes, and high blood pressure. And it's always going to be that constellation of symptoms. I'm going to go this way. But listen, the reason I'm doing this is that you can get a pretty decent workout with hiking. Now I have my single stick because obviously I'm using this as a stick. But if you just use a ruck bag or a heavy backpack, I think it's fair to get a good leg workout. And then if you load up the pack, depending on your experience level, if you load up the pack with 30 pounds, then you're ready for one of my excursions. But if you don't load the pack up, or you're not used to it, then don't go crazy. It might be just hiking with an empty pack, just to get used to the shoulder pull. And I was just watching my favorite podcaster, Periodization, and he actually talked about rucking. So that's the military term for what we do with, not we, but what you can do with a backpack and training. That's more cardiovascular. I was talking to ex-military guy this last Saturday, and he carried 60 pounds. That is a lot of weight. And that's very honorable, but you have to first ask yourself, what are we doing this for? Are we doing this for lowering blood pressure and getting out to nature? That's one positive. Are you doing this for killing two birds with one stone? Yes, that's me. I'm actually getting ready to lead my guys to Mount Whitney, the highest point on the continental US. And I thought I'd do it for my 60th birthday, which was last August, but I'm still in my 60th year. So it keeps me honest, and it also gets me a bucket list, which I'm trying to attack before I turn 70. So I only have 10 big excursions to go. If you like hiking and you need motivation on how to make lifestyle changes and maybe continue hiking as usual, then please consider being a subscriber on my YouTube channel. I do a lot of medical things, but I also do hiking stuff, especially as it approaches the time or the deadline for excursion, which will be on Trailhead on the 26th. That's next Wednesday. So say a prayer that we all come back okay. If not, nice knowing you. No. So it's always important to train for things that cause adversity, or things that will implement a little stressor, either to psyche or muscle or metabolism. Because when you do that properly and you don't get hurt, but you do enough just to stimulate a little bit of a signal of overuse, a little bit of muscle soreness, a little bit of a fast heart rate, or what's called perceived exertion, then your body will respond in the next 24 to 72 hours by building up and adapting to that stressor. So that's why it is, I think as humans, we are meant to experience the world. And some of those experiences will be high endeavors. Some of them will be more psychological or intellectual, and that's fine too. I mean, I'm not sure if Einstein always challenged himself, but you can't get anywhere unless establishing a baseline, and it's a baseline education, a baseline experiential level of exercise. One guy that I took care of today didn't really have that idea of exercise before, but he grew up without sports. He was told that he had to go work on a farm when he was in 8th grade. So honest to God, that is really enduring. So just the work ethic that he has is fantastic. But whether that will serve anybody as you get older remains to be seen. And if he's my patient, I'm not taking a chance with him. I'm going to try to do the most I can as far as his coach to balance out life. And I don't know if we can balance out all the stuff that he missed in his childhood, but we can start now. I mean, what's the other option? Continue with mild high blood pressure, mild elevated glucose, heavily elevated cholesterol, and maybe a sleep disorder. I mean, that's me in a nutshell. But I do the best I can to adapt, and I want to make it old until I'm old and ripe, and I can take care of my great grandkids. I mean, I think part of the giving back part is to help the world, help everybody else that doesn't have the advantages that we have as doctors as far as knowledge, but it's also to give back to my family. And I think that how would I serve as a dad, grandfather, great grandpop if I didn't protect the entire family? And I think that's the testosterone in me, but it's also a reason that I try to maintain a level of health that's hopefully superior than the average. I think we're told a set of lies that if you go to your doctor's office, you get a physical once a year, you'll be super healthy. Yeah, right. Me and my patient talked about how the system, and he agrees with me, the system is not made to get you healthy, it's just made to maintain your disease. So you are responsible for getting yourself healthy. And sometimes there's so much information out there, it's confusing. On my website, herbal411.squarespace.com, I have blogs that I've started as far as talking about exercise, mindful practice, and nutrition. But I also put out regular videos online if there's a common question in the clinic for that week, or a medical disease that is really ramping up as far as information, I'll speak about it so that my patients, at least, I don't spend the whole visit, and my visits are like an hour to an hour and a half, but I don't spend the whole visit or waste it talking about and educating about things that I could easily just refer to a YouTube channel for. That's exactly why I made the YouTube channel, is just to shortcut my time in the clinic, especially if there's repetitive things like vitamin D, magnesium, B12, they're all deficiencies. What to do when, I'm a big proponent to checking morning insulin levels. And my colleagues, I don't think they do that, but when I have new patients, they'll ask, why are you doing that? Because my doctor said I'm not a diabetic. And then I'll ask and review the blood tests, and lo and behold, all they did was a fasting glucose. I'm not ranking on I am ranking on my colleagues, because we have to be, this is longitudinal. Anybody that's in primary care should be longitudinally educating themselves. And that means you have to read at least an hour to 2 hours a day. So if you don't, because you're just too tired from seeing the turnstile list of patients every 15 minutes, maybe you should do what I did and leave. It is a tough monetary hit. I mean, I'll never get the money that the hospital used to pay me for herding cattle in and out, but I think I'm doing a good job, and that's the way I want to serve. So I wouldn't have a good conscience if I had to push people out. And I think when I started working, always when I work for big companies, it'll start out great, but as soon as the first or second year's over, when I have to start speeding it up, as office managers tell me, then usually I'll start to see bad reviews, because patients will say, he didn't spend any time, he's only looking at his computer. Well, I mean, I can only serve the man so much. So that's why I don't work for insurance companies. But bottom line is that even if you don't see me, I am available. I'll put my link for my website and how you can join the militia. I am available throughout the world, and definitely local if you want to come in. But I am a lifestyle coach and a physician in integrated medicine, family practice, sports medicine. I just do all that stuff because I think it empowers me to do a better job for you, and also gives me some good healing education and a fund of knowledge for myself and my family. So take advantage of it. Learn on your own. There's a lot of information out there, and sometimes it's really confusing, but you need a sage. You need somebody to interpret that stuff, and that's what I do, is I usually wind up interpreting stuff. and then applying it personally to the person that's in the room with me. But you're not alone. Just remember that even if you don't know what to do as far as your exercise routine and all you can do is hike because it's fun, fine. Don't stop there. So if you are going to put on some speed, put on a backpack, this is tiny, this is just my office backpack, but when I take folks out, usually have a little bit of a weight vest, well, a little bit of 30-pound weight vest. I can stuff that in my bigger backpack, or I just wear the weight vest. But the idea is to push and apply a little bit more stress than usual. If you can do that, you can get to the point where hopefully next time you go out, you'll have more strength, more endurance, or something different than before. If you just keep on with the same old walking or gym stuff, especially you gym rats, and I am a gym rat, but if I just stick with the same thing, don't max out, just do the same 30-minute thing, and what's called bro sets, where you're just hitting a body part, waiting, hitting another body part, waiting, screw that. There's better ways to do it and use up your time properly, but mix it up. If you stick with the same thing, you might have that perceived exertion where, okay, I guess I kind of worked out. This is cool, I don't know where I am. I guess I kind of worked out, but I'm going to stop here because that's what I usually end up with. Well, unless you're in your 70s, you really should push a little harder. If you're in your 30s, for shame, man, you got to be pushing harder, changing up. I always think that periodization is when you change up. You can change up your nutrition, change up your timing of your food, change up your macros, change up your exercise, go from cardio to resistance, go from resistance to yoga, go from yoga to hiking. But whatever you do, don't stop with being content and not exploring more intense stuff. If you wait until you're in your 60s or retirement age because you have to work and you don't have time, good luck, because by the time you get to that age, you will most likely have extra medical problems. So I can help peel off one medical problem at a time, but just talk to any of my patients who get the homework list. It's at least usually 5 to 7 things that have to be done, and that keeps my patients busy for at least three months or so, and that is enough. But sometimes if it's too much, it won't get done. So I'm here to get lost. I'm here to guide you as far as the best way to change. In addition, if you're confused, I can also help with that. But I think the most important thing is to start somewhere. And if you're not sure where, I can do blood test reviews from what your doctor did, or I can sit down, check some body metrics, see exactly how your lifestyle is, what your challenges are, where your weaknesses are, and we can design from what I call seat of the pants. That's just not even getting blood tests. And I hate to say it, but that's so easy because everybody is so under-exercised, over-nourished, and underslept. Not to mention with no spirituality. And I think it does anchor my patients. The most successful patients I have are usually the ones that have a spiritual practice. And you don't have to be the religion I'm at, but you just have to get something that'll have you serve a higher purpose. And if your higher purpose is to serve the community, great. If your higher purpose is to serve your grandpa, your dad, your mom, your sisters or brothers who passed away, great. But you have to have a higher purpose, because this is tough. I'm supposed to be home now eating dinner with my family, but I'm trying to educate you guys. So, and it's a walk in the park. So anyway, well, thanks for watching up to this point in time. Get yourself out to a forest preserve. If you are gonna use hiking as your exercise of choice, that's fine, but take walking sticks, carry stuff in your backpack. Prior to this, I did a 24-minute high-intensity interval training routine, kind of like what I used to do. I'm not sure where I'm going. What I used to do with yoga, I would work out first, then I go to yoga for the big stuff. Well, nowadays I am using resistance. I'm working out first, but now I'm doing the big stuff, which is hiking. So for those of you who are not coming with my awesome group to Mount Whitney, next June, we're probably going to be hitting Mount Katatin. That's at the top of the Appalachian Trail. That should be cool, especially the knife edge. I'm not going to mention that till I finish with the Mount Whitney thing, but please come out, even train with us. Even if you don't want to go that distance or take on that kind of challenge, just train with us. And I usually will post it on my website as far as up and coming hikes. Also on Facebook, if you're a Facebook person. So this Spring Valley is pretty cool. An old log cabin back there and other things here. I'm going to head back. It's always nice to be on pavement. I think pavement speeds up. When you're on a 10-mile hike, every time you hit pavement, it's like, oh, this is accelerating fast. It's like having slicks on a drag car and clean pavement. So thanks for watching. Please post any questions you might have, or maybe big hikes that you've done. If you're interested in coming out and training with us through the winter, put your comments down below and I'll get you on the list. Otherwise, stay healthy and get outside.